Wars Power of the Force collection.
The Sith droid attack game. Grab control of a pod racer.
When you think of Star Wars products, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Usually it's clothes, lightsabers, and Legos, which are some of the most common things you see in everyday life. But while I was researching some points for this video, I came across some Star Wars products that should never have seen the light of day. Now, lollipops have been a staple candy for decades, with people enjoying them from ages 2 to 92. But when this company tried to make a Star Wars themed lollipop, it was absolutely disturbing. This Jar Jar Binks tongue pop looks like he died and they stuck his head on a stick. Even worse is they made the edible candy part his tongue. Imagine trying to eat this thing in public and people are just watching you tongue kiss and sucking this thing off. Sure, it might taste good, but man, would this look really weird. And if you thought that was bad, take a look at what the company Sigma tried to do with tape. Now you're probably thinking, how could tape be more disturbing than sucking off Jar Jar? Well, how about tugging tape from in between C-3PO's legs? I mean, just look at this thing. You gotta need tape desperately if you want to pull it from there. Come on, just look at the way he's looking at you. He wants you to reach down there. The Sigma company must have been trolling by putting these things up on the shelf to buy. But this next company knew exactly what they were doing when they created this product. They knew Slave Leia is the talking point in every guy's Star Wars conversation. So what did they do? They made a perfume that let you smell exactly what Slave Leia would have smelled like. And I get it, as a company, I would milk Slave Leia too, but it would be hella weird if you were a guy walking to a perfume store and buying this thing. Unless you're a girl getting this to surprise your Star Wars boyfriend later that night, then sure. But this next item was not a reasonable purchase at all. Star Wars costumes are usually pretty good outfits when you buy one from the store or online. Sure, they can look basic at some times, but at least you look the part to some extent. But this was not the case during the 5th Star Wars celebration. At the event, they were selling a Lando Calrissian disguise kit. Now, you would think if you bought this thing, you would get a cape, a blue shirt, maybe pants, or a wig. But all you got in this kit was just a mustache. Yep, nothing else, just a simple stick-on mustache. And if that's what you wanted, then good for you, but anyone who has ever put one of these things on knows that they really only last for a day or a few hours at best when wearing it. So even if you bought it, you couldn't really wear it again. But Lando's mustache just looked like any other mustache you could buy at a costume store for probably cheaper without the Star Wars marketing. So clearly, they just wanted to make a quick buck off of these disguise kits. But at least you got something when you bought one of those, because what these people prepaid for got completely scammed. Imagine reading, watching, or hearing about an awesome new line of Kenner Star Wars toys coming out and you decide to pre-order the bundle. Now, you've been waiting weeks for this thing to come in the mail. You've been telling your friends or family about it, imagining what kinds of fun you would have with these new toys. Then finally, it arrives. You see the Star Wars logo on it and you're super excited. You tear open the box, ready to have fun, just to find out that there's nothing. Your heart sinks as all the excitement built up just deflates like a sad balloon. You can't believe it. You look back in the box to make sure your eyes aren't playing tricks and you see a letter at the bottom. You pick it up, open it, and read as it says, click the subscribe button. Anyway, what the letter actually said was early bird certificate, which was basically saying you're guaranteed the bundle when they have it ready. Now, that's just disappointing. It was so disappointing that it even had Darth Vader crying in the shower. Now, if you didn't know, you could actually buy a Darth Vader shower head, but the problem with this product is that they made him look like he was bawling his eyes out. It's hard not to look up at this thing while showering and think this is how Vader looked after realizing he lost Padme. But this thing wasn't just sad to look at, it was also just a bad shower head. Many people who got it complained that it was too bulky, didn't have the right water flow, or the product wasn't what they expected based on the advertisements. And I get it, sometimes products don't come in the way you think, but what Kenner Toys did with this next one, they should have got it right the first time without question. Now, when companies make collectible figures, they try to make it look as accurate as possible. If you take a look at the Hot Toys company, they make pretty good scale figures, but unfortunately, Kenner Toys fanboys dropped the ball when they tried to recreate Leia's beauty in action figure form. The Power of the Force edition of Princess Leia was meant to look like her when she was first seen in the opening of A New Hope, but it ended up looking like a man instead with a large muscular frame with male facial features. Like, it couldn't have been hard to try to make this figure look more feminine, let alone make it look like Carrie Fisher, right? And this Leia figure wasn't received well by fans at all, and it earned the nickname Monkey Face Leia instead. Even Star Wars collectors didn't think it would make a fine addition to their collection, as they saw it as a waste of money. But if you want to talk about a waste of money, this bed would have cost you a leg. Now, as a kid, you probably wanted some sheets, pillows, or a bed frame from some franchise. For example, the Cars themed Lightning McQueen bed looked really cool, and it would have only cost you about $300 to $400. But this wasn't the case with the Millennium Falcon bed. This thing cost a minimum of $4,000. Sure, it looked cool, but in reality, it just looked like a giant baby cradle in Star Wars form. Yeah, I'm not paying $4,000 for that. I'll stick with the Star Wars themed bed sheets on this one. But at least the bed stayed in your room for no one to see, because you gotta be crazy to buy and wear this next product. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard of the game Angry Birds, and the game got even bigger with the partnership with Star Wars. They did a great job mixing the two franchises together, but they just couldn't figure out how to make the costumes work. They were big, stuffy, and got warm wearing it. Oh, and not to mention you looked like a giant walking Christmas ornament in one of these things. At that point, instead of looking like a beach ball, put on a real Darth Vader suit that looks way cooler. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll like this next one here talking about the 10 most powerful super weapons in the Star Wars galaxy.